Harran Mountains, capped in white, stand as silent witnesses to the stories of those who have walked this land before us. The crisp air carries the echoes of resilience, the whisper of ancient wisdom, the heartbeat of a people who have endured. On the unceded and sacred lands of the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, and Lil'wat peoples, we gather in a place that has always belonged to warriors, those who rise, those who fight, those who endured. The people of these lands have long known the meaning of Invictus, of being unconquered. They have faced trials, have weathered storms, have stood with strength through time and history. And so, it is fitting that the Games, this celebration of resilience, takes place here, where the land itself tells a story of survival and triumph. Welcome to the Invictus Games 2025, Vancouver and Whistler. Welcome. This is Majesty's Sussex Report, and I'm Antonio. Thank you for spending some of your valuable time here with us. We are just hours away from the opening ceremony of the Invictus Games Vancouver Whistler 2025. It's fitting to reflect on the profound journey that has brought us all here. A journey that began with a soldier's vision, and has since become a beacon of hope and resilience for veterans worldwide.
Not planning on speaking tonight, and we just arrived, a couple hours ago, and I touched Canadian soil and I went, oh, it feels like home. We are so excited. We also recognize most of you are probably so exhausted from how much travel you've done, how much adrenaline you have pumping, how excited you are for what is going to be one of the most outstanding, memorable, unforgettable, and connected weeks probably for you and for your families. We are just thrilled to be here, and I would be remiss if I didn't take the opportunity to introduce someone who means a lot to me, and I know means quite a lot to all of you. You will see him throughout this week. You will see him at the games. You will see him probably curling with you, cheering you on at He'll be cheering you on at wheelchair basketball. He'll be going down that, what is that? Is it the luge? Oh my gosh, you guys, the thing that I will never do. My husband will probably do 3 times because he wants to be there with you. He is in it with you. And you'll see him through all of those moments. He'll be there with you. What you won't have seen is all of the moments that have happened in the lead up to these games. All of the moments where in, as you know, with families, the big rush in the morning and getting ready for school and packing the lunch boxes and making breakfast, and my husband's in all of that with us. And then he'll be on his phone and Archie will say, Papa, why are you on your phone? He's like, because it's Invictus. I'm getting ready for Invictus. It means so much to him. You are his family, just as we are his family. And I hope you recognize how much of his heart he has poured into every single beat that has gotten all of you to this week that is going to be spectacular. I need you to know that. I need you to know how much it means to him and how much each of you means to him. So it is my entire pleasure and complete honor to introduce to the stage my husband, the father of our very sweet, excited children who are cheering you on from California, Prince Harry, founder of the Invictus Games, the Duke of Sussex.
In 2013, Prince Harry, then serving in the British Army, attended the Warrior Games in the US. There he witnessed firsthand the transformative power of sports on wounded, injured, and sick service personnel. Inspired by the competitor's indomitable spirit, he envisioned an international event that would celebrate their courage and aid in their recovery. Thus, in 2014, the inaugural Invictus Games were held in London, UK.
Whoever's idea it was to put me here was, Over the past 8 years, I've witnessed the whole cycle of life-changing injury, evacuating soldiers and local Afghans to hospital, flying home from Afghanistan with some of those critically injured, meeting others in hospital coming to terms with life-changing injuries, and finally trying to keep up with 12 wounded veterans on our way to the South Pole. I can only begin to imagine how challenging the journey of recovery is, but the admiration I have for these men and women to move beyond their injuries is limitless. Last year, through the Royal Foundation, I visited the Warrior Games in the United States, seeing people who, only months earlier, had been told they'll never walk again, and now winning medals in front of their family and friends was breathtaking. I knew that anyone would be inspired by what these men and women had achieved, not just other servicemen and women, but all those adjusting to life post-injury. Each of them have come such a long way. Even making it to the start line is a huge achievement. Their stories are amazing as they are unique. However, they all share one thing: sport. Sport has been the vehicle for their recovery, allowing them to channel their passion into what can be achieved rather than what can't. No longer are these inspirational men and women defined by their injuries, but as athletes, competitors, and teammates. Over the next 4 days, we will see some truly remarkable achievements. For some of those taking part, this will be a stepping stone to elite sport. But for others, it will mark the end of a chapter in their recovery and the beginning of a new one. Either way, you can be sure that everyone who takes part on the track, pool, or field of play will be giving it their all, and I have no doubt that lives will be changed this weekend. It gives me great pleasure to welcome the 13 nations to London and to say how delighted I am that many of you have been joined by your families we recognize the vital part that they play in your recovery. The British public's support for our servicemen and women has been exceptional, and I know that they will show you the same over the coming days. Finally, I would like to thank all of you for the tremendous example that you set. Your stories move, inspire, and humble us. You prove that anything is possible if you have the will. Welcome to the Games. Welcome to Invictus.
Marking the birth of a movement that would leave an indelible mark on the veteran community. The word Invictus, meaning unconquered, embodies the fighting spirit of these men and women. The games harness the power of sport to inspire recovery, support rehabilitation, and generate a wider understanding and respect for those who served their countries. Following London, the Invictus Games traveled across the globe, each host city contributing uniquely to the legacy of the Games. In 2016, it was in Orlando, USA. Orlando welcomed over 500 competitors from 15 nations. The event highlighted the role of family and community in the healing process, fostering programs that emphasized holistic recovery approaches. Then it was Toronto's turn in Canada. That was 2017. Toronto 2017 Games saw the introduction of new sports and a focus on inclusivity. The city launched initiatives to support veterans transitioning to civilian life, including employment programs and mental health services, leaving a lasting impact on the Canadian veteran community. And may I remind everyone that that was where Prince Harry and Meghan made their not so official, but sort of official outing. Who could ever forget that? They looked fantastic, and that was news that went around the world. And what was it? The shirt was called the boyfriend shirt or something like that. Loves it, loves it. It's just absolutely great. I was over the moon. Let me tell you. I was like, that's Rachel from Suits. It was great, absolutely great. Then off to Sydney, Australia in 2018. The Games in Sydney embraced the motto Game on Down Under. Let me say that again. Game on Down Under. It sounds like a song. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Okay, I digress. Australia expanded adaptive sports programs nationwide, integrating them into rehabilitation services and promoting community based support networks for veterans and their families. In 2022, The Hague in the Netherlands, after a pandemic induced delay, The Hague hosted the Games in 2022. The Netherlands focused on invisible injuries such as PTSD, leading to increased awareness and the development of specialized mental health resources for veterans. Dusseldorf, Germany, 2013. Dusseldorf emphasized the importance of societal reintegration of veterans. The game explored collaboration between government agencies and non-profits, resulting in programs aimed at vocational training and employment opportunities for former service members. Beyond the host cities, the Invictus Games have inspired nations to enhance support for their veterans.
Invictus Team Nigeria have been camped for the past few months, training, bonding, and preparing for the Invictus Games 2025 in Vancouver, Canada.
This is where we found friendship. Wow.
This is where we bonded.
This is where we recover. Oja, Oja.
And from here, we will be back to Canada for Invictus Games 2025.
Canada.
Notably, in Nigeria, though yet to host the games, has embarked on on constructing the Armed Forces Invictus Center in Abuja. This facility, the first of its kind globally, will provide rehabilitation and training programs for wounded service members, underscoring the game's far-reaching influence. Research has shown that participating in the Invictus Games leads to significant improvement in physical, psychological, and social well-being for veterans. Competitors often experience enhanced self-esteem, reduced isolation, and a renewed sense of purpose. As we prepare for the Vancouver Whistler Invictus Winter Games 2025, we anticipate the introduction of winter adaptive sports, a first in the event history. This innovation not only broadens the scope of the games, but also highlights the adaptability and resilience of its participants. Reflecting on the journey thus far, it's evident that the Invictus Games have achieved so much. I don't even know, because I don't know, if Prince Harry might have envisioned it becoming what it's becoming and still growing. I think maybe perhaps he did, because the man has got really great and big visions. They have become a global movement, transforming perceptions of disability and service and fostering a worldwide community dedicated to the recovery and rehabilitation of veterans. As many of us know, having a disability in many countries is still has a certain stigma attached to it. And I think especially when one has incurred that injury, whether physical or invisible, having stigma attached to them when one has acquired them in defense of one's country or the ideals of democracy and freedom, and then to return home and to be treated with that kind of stigma, it's just adds on even more to the challenges that veterans may face. So the Invictus Games not only brings this community together, but it creates also a way for those stigmas to be challenged, for people who hold those ideas to see how these veterans are still with that conviction, with that spirit to forge ahead. It's absolutely incredible. So The Invictus Games creates that atmosphere to challenge stigmas all across the world. Incredible. This legacy stands as a testament to the enduring impact of one individual's vision. Very special kind of guy, now shared by many. Thank you, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex.
Every time Prince Harry and Meghan Markle step into the spotlight for something meaningful, like the Invictus Games, which are starting tomorrow. And by the way, good luck to all the participants, to all the countries taking part. Suddenly, the media noise, it gets louder. The usual suspects, they churn out hit pieces, recycled scandals, out of context sources to divert attention away from what actually matters, and that is the veterans and the fact that they are taking part in these games. It's predictable, it's propaganda, and it should be ignored. It's a classic media playbook. Distract, discredit, and dominate the narrative before the real story can be told. So, the Invictus Games, they were founded by Prince Harry. Nobody else, no other royal involvement. Try as you might, Harry is the founder of the Invictus Games, and that's not going to change. This is an incredible movement of resilience. It celebrates strength and it celebrates healing for wounded veterans worldwide. But instead of focusing on that, the British media in particular will be filled with nonsense about, oh, seating charts, fashion choices, imaginary feuds. Oh, why can't they go away quietly? Which is the favorite. But here's the truth. This is why I love platforms like TikTok and social media, because TikTok has given us the power to bypass all that propaganda and to see things for what they really are. And because we are seeing things for what they really are, that is why newspapers are laying off people. They're not making as much money because people now prefer to get their news from other sources. We don't need the tabloids or even the broadsheets to tell us what to think. We can hear it directly from the people involved. That is why I'm so happy that Meghan now has her own Instagram platform where she turns off the comments as a result of her talking about the fact that she helped a 15-year-old from Altadena get back some merch and a number of things from her favorite pop star, Billie Eilish. As a result of that, a company, a small company, female-led, female-run, that made her sweatshirt that had embroidery on it around the neck. The embroidery was of the names of her children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. Because she was able to wear that sweatshirt in making of her video, makeup free and still looking amazing, by the way, because she made that video, that the owner of the company has had to come back early from maternity leave. She went on maternity leave last year. She's now come back a bit early because the orders she said the orders just skyrocketed. It was a dream come true. And there's now an 8-week waiting list as a result of that. So now that Meghan has her power back and she can tell us directly what she's doing and what she's up to, there's going to be a lot of noise. A lot of tabloids are going to have meltdown already. A day before the Invictus Games, there's weeping, there's wailing, there's mourning, there's throwing up, sliding down the walls. But guess what? We do not care. Our focus is on the Invictus Games. It's on our favorites. Prince Harry and Princess Meghan, and it's focused on these brave veterans achieving incredible things in the field of sport. So, as the games begin, tune out the noise and tune in to what really, really matters. Support the athletes, celebrate the cause, and ignore the drama. I'm Elizabeth. I'm a life coach. I'm a business coach. And I also do social commentary. Like and follow for more.
As we, and I mean, of first, Winter Games for the Invictus Games, there's something deeply, I think, telling, something shameful that cannot be ignored. Prince Harry, the man who envisioned these games, who walked among soldiers in war zones, who saw firsthand the cost of service, the loss of limbs, the invisible wounds, the battles that, that never end, has dedicated himself to ensuring that wounded veterans are not discarded, not forgotten, but honored, celebrated, and given a renewed sense of purpose. And yet, where is the support from the very institution he was born into? The British royal family, who draped themselves in military regalia at ceremonies, who claimed to hold duty and service above all else, cannot even muster the decency to publicly wish their veterans well as they set off to represent their country. As of right now, they have not. As of me recording this right now, they have not. It costs nothing. It cost absolutely nothing to offer a word of encouragement, yet their silence speaks volumes. The pettiness, the hate. How can anyone think you would govern? You would be. The sad thing is that it is all deliberate. It's all deliberate. The pettiness is all deliberate. And an outright betrayal of the very people they claim to serve. And then, of course, there is we can never forget them, right? The UK press, outstanding citizens that somehow have created their own idea of what good and great journalism is. And trust me, I'm not saying everyone is like that. But day after day, it seems like most are just a pile of manure. Their endless, bitter campaign to downplay, discredit, and distort the Invictus Games simply because Prince Harry is behind it. Every time these games roll around, they attempt to manufacture negativity. They refuse to highlight the triumphs, the hopes, the sheer courage on display. I mean, they do ever so often little nuggets here and there, but it shouldn't be little nuggets. Prince Harry has not just built a movement, he has built a family, one bound not by blood, but by a shared understanding of sacrifice, resilience, and the will to rise again. Through the Invictus Games, he has transformed pain into purpose, wounds into wisdom, and struggle into strength. He has shown that healing is not just about the body, it is about the mind, the soul, and the unwavering belief that you are never alone in your fight. For every veteran who has ever felt forgotten, for every warrior who doubted their worth, for every family who feared they had lost the person they once knew, Prince Harry has restored hope. He has given them a place to stand, a reason to push forward, and a reminder that their story is far from over. And so, as we stand here today, looking out at the unconquered, we do so knowing that the flame of the Invictus Games will continue to burn, not just in stadiums, but in the hearts, in homes, and in every life touched by this extraordinary vision. Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, this is one of your legacies, a legacy of courage, a legacy of redemption, a legacy that says to every veteran, every fighter, every survivor, you are seen, you are valued, you are Invictus.